Hello viewers, my name is Malcolm Athaide. I am the co-founder and CEO of Agrim Housing Finance company, the newest kid on the block. We welcome you to our first ever session of Beyond the Boardroom. We begin our series today with a leading business leader, Mr. Pinak Maitra, who is also a board member, mentor and guide. Mr. Maitra is a recipient of the CFO award of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of England and Wales and has been recognized for his many achievements by the Forbes Middle East. He is a passionate believer in social impact investing in developing nations, and he is here to speak to us on the same. Hello, Mr. Maitra, and welcome to the first ever Beyond the Boardroom interview hosted by Agrim HFC. We are here to gather your insights on conscious and responsible investing for the greater good.
Good afternoon, Malcolm. It's indeed a pleasure to be with you. I hope all well at your end.
Absolutely, sir. So, to begin with, sir, do share with us your core beliefs about impact investing and its need in the present world.
Thank you for that very good question, and I like the topic of this series, Beyond the Bottom Line, and I think that it talks about the need to think beyond just money and the effect of money on society. So thinking about it at the 40,000 feet level, clearly the need for impact investing arises because there are gaps coming in many dimensions of society, gaps in terms of income inequality, in terms of environmental sustenance. These are very serious matters, and it's very important that corporates, in partnership with governments, work together to make sure that when any decisions are taken, investment decisions are taken, that the outcome is 2 + 2 is more than 4.
So, since you have vast experience beyond the Indian shores, can you tell us what is the most striking difference between India and the developing nations in terms of market opportunity?
It's the interesting way you frame the question, and if I take the question and give it a different tack, I believe that India as a nation has a history of being concerned about the neighbors. The concept of love your neighbor has existed for thousands of years in the nation of India. And so we have been impact investors in that sense of the term. Now, if you look at it with the modern definition, which is a narrative that purely comes from the developed world, I see that India can learn from the good things that they have, which is to focus on the communication aspect, to have a wider dialogue with the broader stakeholder community. And so if you look at the global view versus the Indian view, there are lots of things that we can learn from the world, and there are lots of things that we can build from what we have. And I think that probably is the path for us to really evolve. One great example is the McKinsey Global Institute study. And there they talk about affordable housing. And if you look at the list of examples of countries where they see they have been made progress, India appears in many of the criteria. So here you are seeing in the affordable investing area, India is quite ahead of many countries in the world. And so that's a great example of how India can take its best and take the world's best and progress ahead.
Thank you, sir. Sir, just on the topic of affordable housing, in the past it has been some of the crisis on the NBFC sector has been present in Indian shores since 2018. But investing in a housing finance industry has been a bold decision for you. What was the source of your conviction?
So it was the roots of Agrim is a professional group of promoters and a professional management team, and both the board and the management team clearly saw that there was a massive need to provide affordable housing to a large section of the Indian population. That number give or take, is about 160 million households, which are lots of people. And everybody deserves a house, because the house is at the root of a proper upbringing, good health conditions, so on and so forth. So clearly we saw that this was a need. We had the passion to make it happen. Agrim's ambition is to be a global leader, and therefore we began the journey. So that is probably how the journey began. And the way we saw it was that there was no right time. It was more a must time situation, and we had to do it. And I think that Agrim began the journey, and this is a 20-year-old journey that we have eyes on, and we believe that many small steps will get us to making a difference in this area.
Sir, we live in interesting times. And in the pandemic times, how do you think has this impacted and changed the perspectives for impact investors worldwide?
So again, one of these things are what I would say is that the pandemic has been a plus for Agrim and for impact investors, because what it has done is it is forced digitization on all of us. So if you look at today in many areas, for instance, in online education, with all its limitation, today it's flourishing. It is provided angles and opportunities to deliver education, quality education at a price point that increases its accessibility. Similarly, in the case of affordable housing, with the path that Agrim has taken, and for other players, where communities are being created, NGOs are working on it, the online movement is moved forward, according to many experts, by 5 years. I think that, yes, the pandemic has been a very painful episode and continues to drag along into 2021. But on balance, if you think about the positive dimension of it, it is a plus for impact investors, because it has allowed us to reach people, whether in normal situation or in difficult situations.
That was very insightful, Mr. Maitra. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your wisdom with us. It has enriched us further, and we hope our viewers who also view this episode will also benefit from your valuable advice and perspectives. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Malcolm. It was a pleasure talking to you. Bye-bye.